Hello. I'm going to be doing another grief share video today. Um, really, I wanted to talk about what had happened to me a couple weeks ago. I talked about it a little bit on the previous videos, but it was just kind of hard to process it. So I've been trying to, you know, get back to a better place. So a couple weeks ago, I uh, I had some real issues with my mental health because I've been pregnant. My hormones have been kind of crazy, and I know everybody kind of talks about it, but I just wasn't really prepared for what happened to me um, when I went into my second trimester. I just really my mental health really started to decline, and I just noticed more and more. I was having more symptoms of like bipolar and stuff like that, and um, I've struggled with major depression for years, but I never saw symptoms of bipolar. I don't know if there were things that I didn't know back when I lived at home, but I just really noticed, a big problem with depression mostly. So when I hit my second trimester, I just started noticing some more in the bipolar direction, and I just really didn't know how to handle it. So um, One night I was, in a argument with my husband, and um, I just lost control, and I couldn't. I guess I couldn't think. I couldn't. What's weird is I just couldn't even remember what I had felt with my family. So I just went back home to my mother's house, and um, I mean, if things had gone well, I don't know if I would say it was a mistake necessarily, but things did not go well, and so it was a huge mistake. Um, I mean, part of my thinking with the whole thing was just wanting to um, maybe stay with her a little while and see if I could deal with some of the anger that I had with her. Although I don't know how I was going to do that, because we've never been able to get anything resolved. But I felt like I needed some kind of change in myself. Um, I stayed with her a few days, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you see me talk about going no contact and the back and forth I've had with my mother for years. And it's still not really a good situation. It's been really hard. Um, and so going to see her again was stirred everything up, and I really didn't understand what made me do it for several days after I got back. So long story short, um, about the fourth day I was there, we just got in an argument, and um, she, I'd say she got out of control. She went to a few levels past me. She was screaming, and I really thought she was going to physically assault me. So I had to leave, and I came back home to live with my husband. Um, and I got some. I finally just had to get on some medicine, to kind of keep me get my mental health in a better place. But um, I really felt frustrated with the situation with my mother. Even more so now, probably. Um, I could tell, there were parts of me that really saw some love in some of the things that she was doing, but I think that she really, what I saw the most is that she doesn't know how to love somebody without trying to control them. And um, some people will let her control them, and some people won't. And I've just never been able to let her. do but so much with me. I guess I'm just I don't know. I've always felt like I was a little bit more strong-willed than, for example, my sister. My sister and her got along pretty well, and of course, my sister ended up on drugs, I think, trying to please my mother. So, I couldn't go to drugs like my sister did, and of course, she ended up dying from an overdose trying to please my mother. But I think, we had some good talks while I was there, and I did see a little bit of progress in myself. I saw some positives that I don't think that I'd ever seen before, and I think I've been able to let go of some stuff. It's been hard not being able to talk to her about what happened in the past. I don't think that I'll ever be able to do that, but um, it just um, really made the situation kind of hard on me. I felt like you know, I want to forgive her for what she's done, and I think not forgiving her, kind of makes me hold on to a lot of anger that I don't need to hold on to. So, you know, um, I kind of feel conflicted now since seeing her. She was so um, extremely, I guess I'll just say volatile. She was angry and very difficult to deal with when I was there. So I just feel conflicted a lot about what I should do to try to move forward with her or not. It's it's kind of hard to not have any contact with her, I think. But I've kind of realized that to have a relationship with her, there just isn't a way to talk about the past. So there are things that I have to accept if I want to have a relationship with her. Um, I can't go to her house. We have to be in public if we're going to see each other. And um, I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't feel right about not letting her see her grandchild. But I've seen a lot of people talk about how they they don't really feel bad about keeping their narcissistic mother away from their grandchild or away from them and stuff like that because they're so toxic. And I'm like, well, maybe that's how I should feel. I should feel like, she's too toxic. I mean, I really felt pretty strongly she was on drugs when I was there. She takes pain pills or something. I don't know what she takes, but um, it feels like she has bipolar, and when she takes drugs, she gets so much more out of control. So I kind of felt like she was on drugs, and I really didn't want to be around that kind of behavior, no matter how well she can hide it or whatever. It was just kind of hard to feel like I would ever be able to be around her like that. But um, I mean, if you've ever struggled with talking to a parent or not talking to a parent or having a toxic parent, maybe you understand and you kind of go back and forth a lot about, is this right? Is it wrong? I mean, nobody can really tell you what's right or wrong. And you kind of just have to figure things out for yourself. I look back and I feel kind of bad about all the back and forth I've had with my mother, 2 or 3 years, no contact with her, and show up again, and something else triggers me, and I, stop talking to her again, and she gets my address, and she starts sending me stuff that I don't want, and she starts, talking to people behind my back, and it's just an endless cycle, and I just don't really know what to do about it. I kind of wish it would just end, but you know, part of me feels like the best way to keep it from getting to a worse place is to try to have some contact with her or do something, to maintain some kind of balance. But um, I think, it's just so many different feelings and thoughts, and And like I said, it's hard to process, you know, the things you go through like that. I mean, if it's a traumatic experience or whatever you want to call it, it's hard for you to wrap, or it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it, um, just because it was just so difficult. But anyway, I guess I'm going to leave it there. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.